Hi there, everyone. This is Jennifer Hough, and we're on Agents of Awakening, this beautiful sunny day in North Carolina. What is Agents of Awakening? Well, it's funny, even as I look at my microphone, it's funny when I tell people about Agents of Awakening, they're like, that's such a good idea. It is such a good idea because it's all about people who haven't been stopped. They haven't been stopped by their story. They haven't been stopped by their past. They haven't been stopped because of money or lack of money. And the reason we're doing this is because so long ago, I actually started a project called The Mission Possible. It was about like 12-year-olds that were raising, this one 12-year-old raised $6 million for tsunami relief. And I'm like, how did a 12-year-old, I wanted to know about him, and I wanted to know about all the kids like him. So it started with that and led to a place where I ended up meeting all of these people all over the world who were unstoppable. And so Fritzi Horstman is one of those people for me, actually. And the reason I asked her to be on Agents of Awakening, I'm so grateful to you, Fritzi. The reason I asked her is because we shared this video about the Compassion Prison Project. And I swear to you, it had like hundreds of shares, 10,000, people talking about it. The views were astronomical, like tens of thousands of views. I wouldn't even be surprised if it was hundreds of thousands of views at this point. And when we saw how much people were inspired, I couldn't not talk to you. So I jumped on the phone. Did I text you, Fritzi? How did we get in contact? Was that by personal message, or how did we do that?
I don't, honestly, there's been like hundreds of people contacting me. So
yeah,
you're in my stream of wonderful.
Oh, well, I gotta say, you're in my stream of wonderful. So I want to tell you a little bit about Fritzi. She's the founder and executive director of the Compassion Prison Project, an organization dedicated to bringing compassion. Really, it's about transmuting childhood trauma, right? It's for these prisoners, and you and I, in that way, we get the effect of trauma, and there but for the grace of God go we, that we didn't end up in prison, or some of the people we love didn't end up in prison. So did you ever go to prison? Like, whatever had you dream up this incredible project?
I walked into a prison through Hustle 2.0, which is this other amazing prison program. I walked in, cried for 8 hours, and realized the trauma I had when I was a little girl was identical to the trauma the stories that I heard from the men were same and worse than the trauma that I had experienced. Mm-hmm. And I said, when are we coming back? Because I am in. And they said 6 months. And I thought, wow, this isn't okay. I got to figure out a way. So I researched kindness and compassion for 3 months. I made this ridiculous curriculum and I said, here, let's do it. Let's try it. And they said, okay. And I walked in January 5th, 2019. And I walked in and I said, I love you. I've been traumatized just like you. And let's go. And I haven't stopped.
And was this, okay, so January 2019, was this group of, I have so many questions. Was this group of people, was it a group of men? Was it a group of women? And had you ever been in a prison prior to that initial experience? And had you ever facilitated anything like this before?
No. And 30 men in a maximum security prison, most of them.
Come on.
But I had met them, some of them, during that initial visit.
Yeah.
And they are, I want them to come to Thanksgiving when they come out. That's like, aww. And one guy, I'm going to make him a white bean soup, but these are my family, and these are our family. This is not, we cannot ignore this. These men just were heavily traumatized. And when people start understanding the science and what happens to the brain when it's traumatized, it's like there is no free will, there is no choice, there is no morality. The morality is in the executive function of the prefrontal cortex. Once that goes offline, the lizard brain checks in, and that lizard brain wants to keep you safe, and that's it. So we got to start thinking about the science. The science is there. There's no questions anymore. What we're doing is inhumane and ridiculous. So, and I can go on.
And well, I for one have explored different programs for prison all over the world, and in looking at so many of them, the ones that are really effective, that have the lowest recidivism rate, are the ones that include compassion and assistance. And what we ultimately want is not just to point fingers and say you did something bad. We want to be able to say, hey, listen, fellow human being, you went through something sucky, and again, for the there, but for the grace of God go I. Truly, I believe it. I know that so many of us, if we really look at our past, we've done things that one could have gone to prison for. One could easily have gone to prison for. So my question is, what gave you such compassion for these people? What was the connection? What was the moment that hit you?
Well, I think it was the moment when a sweet man was telling me his story, and he said his father tried to drown him when he was 10. And I saw that he was unable to really fully access himself. And I thought, how can I bring this man help? How can I do it? And then I also, I don't know, it was like, there was no way I could ignore this anymore. I was developing projects about African-American people when I was a producer, and I thought, because I've always been concerned about what we've been doing to the African-American population and the Latino population, but specifically the African-American. So it's been kind of a driving force for me. But
so hold on. But yeah. What were you doing before? What was your job before you started doing this?
I was a producer. One of the projects I did was The Defiant Ones, which was on HBO, about Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine. But I've been producing for 25 years or so. And I'm a filmmaker, so I made my own projects. And so, which kind of led me to doing Step Inside the Circle, because the minute I realized Catherine Hoke did this thing, step to the line, and I realized we needed a physical process that illustrated the trauma. And so the 30 guys and I, we did the circle 4 times last year to really hone it in, but we kept getting new people. So all those people, they also needed to have that experience of the circle. And the thing that the viewers haven't seen that we do is we talk about the symptoms of trauma. What happens when you're traumatized? You become hypervigilant. So all these kids that can't learn, it's not because they're stupid or, it's because they're hypervigilant. They're sitting in class worried they're
in danger.
Exactly. Their body's on alert. And all this toxic stress that is the cortisol that runs through their bodies. Did you know that people who have 4 or more ACEs, and ACE is an adverse childhood experience, childhood trauma, people who have 4 or more ACEs, their life expectancy drops by 20 years. So my parents both were traumatized. My mom lived till she was 69, my dad till he's 61. So, they talk about comorbidity in COVID, with this COVID thing. That's all trauma. Everybody, it's all trauma. So it's not comorbidity. It's, being annihilated as a child, and the stress and all the hormones that are running through your body to keep you safe, or what the body thinks is safe, has destroyed your life. And it's a societal problem. This isn't just in prison. This is running through. Trauma has destroyed our society, and it's running through all of, It's running through our political system. What do you think all this fighting and othering? Oh, one of the big symptoms of trauma is feeling that we're not connected to the world. So
well, and also one of the protective mechanisms that I've noticed in our work is that we separate and we other people. You're other than me, but where we all join and where we all can understand each other, which is exactly what you're doing in the prison, and where we can join is in the difficulty we've been through, in the trauma, in the hardship. And we develop these protective mechanisms, and what they do is they separate us, and they have us be in fear, and our locus of control goes outside of ourselves, right?
yes.
Instead of being able to listen to our instincts so we can keep our own selves safe, we're constantly thinking that everything outside of us is potentially dangerous. It's crazy.
Yes. And then you go to prison and you're re-traumatized and you're told you're a piece of crap and you have no self-esteem, and like just going into reception where you're entered, it's someone today said it's kind of like going into Auschwitz. So what we do, we strip people of their humanity the minute they walk in. I mean,
so hold on. I don't just want everyone to just breathe. I know everyone can feel Fritzi right now and feel her passion. Her passion comes from the love of the people she's working with. Because they're just human beings. And I'm going to say it again. Really, guys, there but for the grace of God. It could have been anyone. You know, we're sitting, one of the things that Fritzi, if you watch the movie that I posted again, one of the things that you'll see is that you literally say that I could have been in prison, but I'm a white woman. You know, it's less likely, far ridiculously less likely. So keep going. So it's like going into Auschwitz when you walk into the prison.
And the men that I work with, they're in their cells for 23 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So what does that tell this person? What like psychological information is he getting, which he was receiving since he was a little baby? You know, the abuse his parents gave him. I don't know if anyone's ever seen the trials of Gabriel Fernandez, but the abuse that he survived, that child died of,
insane,
is very similar to the abuse that a lot of these men have endured in their childhoods. They just survived. So we have to understand the system, the way it is set up, is set to keep people in prison and to really just continue to destroy them. And if my tax dollars are paying for this destruction, so I'm culpable, I'm accountable for this, and I can no longer stand by and say this is okay.
And even so, you know, even if people are listening right now and going, well, we can't help them find their way home. Well, yes, you can, because even if you don't agree with this approach, the recidivism rate, that you're literally helping someone to become a functioning human being in the world, and there's so much good work out there doing that. What Fritzi and I ended up talking about when I called her, which I hope is going to be the first of many times, was I told her that I used to work with street kids. I worked with them for years and years. And in that work, they were many of the people that end up in prisons. And the stories that they told me were incredible. The resilience of human nature is what I'm present to. And the willingness to forgive and move on. Haven't you seen that? This incredible resilience in this population?
Yes, and incredible wisdom, incredible talent. And honestly, those men have the keys to heal their own communities. But those are resources we're keeping from their communities, because now they know about childhood trauma. They're going to let people know what childhood trauma does. I mean, and they're artists and they're poets and they're electricians. they can help rebuild these communities. It's
Mm-hmm.
a different world we have to imagine. We cannot just say, oh yes, let's just let people out and then same thing happens. No, we need a holistic wellness center for these men and women to live in, not a punitive, archaic system where we dehumanize and devalue every person who walks in that gate.
Well, I love you. It's done. You had me at hello. So, and I want to say this. For everyone that's listening right now, and you've been called by something, your heart's been touched by something, you have had this idea or this dream for ages. Fritzi, basically, you let go of your career. You just felt a dream inside. How did your husband feel about all of this when you first brought it to him?
Well, he was like, just don't talk about prison at breakfast. But he said, we can't afford to make this film. I put every penny we basically had in the film, and we were waiting for some of the donations from Giving Tuesday to pay for it. So I put everything on the line to make this film, which is the thing that has, given us some resources. We just got some donations. It's incredible. Some resources so we can start spreading.
Hold, please. We'll put a donation button on this video so that you guys can see it. We already did it once. We'll put the donation button again. So yes, so then you guys had moments, right? Like you had moments like, what am I doing? Am I crazy kind of moments?
Exactly. I said, it's going to be fine. And we're doing this, and I have to do this. And I'm not going back to my old job. I am doing this. I am in 100%. And it was, it was a real test. And it was like one of the best moments of my life to know that I was doing exactly what I needed to do, that this was calling.
You go, girl.
And let's do this.
Awesome. We are live on Facebook. And my sweetie just walked in. I wish he could hear this right now, but he cannot. Sweetie Pie, we're live on Facebook.
All right. So I shouldn't say anything disgusting.
No, you shouldn't. So Fritzi, and by the way, this is my husband, and he has experience with federal prisons,
Law enforcement?
With federal prisons and being,
yes.
And
nope, no.
And he is working on the beautiful front lines of Asheville, North Carolina.
Wow.
So yeah, yes, not federal prisons, but something like. Thank you, sweetie. So the thing for me that's very interesting in all of this is that you're not someone, well, you are special. We're all special.
Yes.
But do you consider yourself separate or different or special or somehow apart from everybody else in this world?
No, I kind of understand that everyone is magical and special and, so can really transform the world from where they sit. We all have it. I think we all have, like, your gift of, bringing people and awakening people. I mean, what an amazing thing. It's in all of us. And I know that it's because I know that of every man and woman I've met at prison, they all have the same gifts that we all have. So no, I'm not special. And the thing is, the more you give, the more you get. So
yes,
what an algorithm that I just learned about.
Yes, absolutely. The cycle of reciprocity. Well, one of the things I hope we do in future with Agents of Awakening, as some of those wonderful men come out, I'd love to, as they go out into the community and build bridges themselves, in the future, tell those stories through Agents of Awakening too. I really want everyone to know what's possible for the human condition when we make our life about building bridges instead of walls. It's just so gorgeous.
So well said. Thank you. I'm going to use that.
So everyone, this is Agents of Awakening and Jennifer Hough, and I'm here with Fritzi Horstman. You can absolutely donate to the project, and please watch the video that we've linked to this particular interview. It is so well worth. And imagine yourself where you would start stepping into the circle as you watch the video. Remember to use the hashtags #BeTheBridge and Agents of Awakening and Together We Can, because together we really can. And it's time for us to allow ourselves to be inspired, to allow ourselves to consider that we actually are our own Fritzi Horstman or Jennifer Hough, or we're just everyday people that, instead of kind of like shoving that little voice in the background that was going like this, we just said, all right, I give. And so I want to honor also Jeannie Selda, the founder of Agents of Awakening, who also said, I'm going to do that thing. So everyone, on this glorious day, I want to thank very much every one of you who are listening and allowing yourself to be inspired. I want to thank Fritzi Horstman for the courage that it's taken for you to just fly forward anyhow. And on behalf of all those men that you're working with, that probably know that, it was a changing day, it was a life-changing day when they met you. So.
And a life-changing day when I met them. It's right there. All the magic is right there in the give.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then I just feel the pay it forwardness of this. I just feel how they will take what you've done.
Yes, I can only imagine. And what a day! What a vision!
Right?
And I'm there.
Yeah, I'm gonna let's do a Zoom call on that day too.
Yes.
So everyone, love to you. Bye to everyone on our Facebook page. Make sure you like and follow us. We'll do more interviews coming up of Agents of Awakening. Please absolutely go to facebook.com/Agents of Awakening. Join us. Share more stories like this. Share stories of people who are literally allowing themselves to be the bridge to a new humanity. It's just time for us all to wake up. All right, everyone. Thanks again. Thanks, Fritzi, so much.
Thank you so much.
Big hugs to everyone out there. We'll talk soon. Yay. I'm so excited for you guys to pass this on. Please share, like, and pass it on. Okay. Bye for now, everyone.